Okay, so I've decided that there are so many reasons that people are moving to Las Vegas that I wanted to make another video about this as I do a deeper dive in and tell you some of the other reasons that I haven't even brought up before as to why Las Vegas might be your #1 place on your list where you want to relocate to. Are you ready to join me once again as we walk through Town Square, one of the coolest shopping centers around, and we talk all about why people are moving to Las Vegas? All right, sit down, click that little bell and subscribe button, and then let's go. Hey everybody, it's your host once again, Dave Baker with VegasAgents.com, coming to you from Town Square, right here in Las Vegas, right off of Las Vegas Boulevard. This is one of my favorite shopping centers, of course, because you have so many dining options, you have places to hang out, places you can bring your family. And I thought, hey, what better place to talk once again about why people are moving out here. Okay, now, remember, if you're thinking about moving out to Las Vegas, you've got to get in touch with me. All you have to do is send me an email. You can send me a text message. Give me a call 24/7, okay? I can't wait to see how our team can help you with your move to Las Vegas. Okay, let's dive in. Now, I want to do a little bit deeper of a dive, or a different type of dive, so to speak, because I want to talk about other reasons people are moving here that might not have been brought to your attention before. Just as a recap, we've covered some of the major reasons, right? We've already talked about the weather, we've talked about no state income tax, the dining scene, wow, all the entertainment, we've talked about that stuff. And we've dabbled and mentioned a little bit about localized outdoor activities, like some hiking and biking and all the bike trails, and other types of off-road things you can do. So now, let's talk about some other things that I want to put on a list, and they might catch your attention. Okay, so for this video, #1, the booming sports scene. Yeah, that's right. So a lot of people think about Las Vegas as a place with sports books, right? Where you come and you can bet on your favorite team, you can bet on your least favorite team, you know, whatever works for you. But it's growing, okay? We've got new stadiums. As you know, the Raiders have come out here. So you now have the Las Vegas Raiders. That's right here in Las Vegas. You see their emblems everywhere. You see it on license plate frames. You see it every time you drive on Highway 15. You see that beautiful stadium. It's got a really cool design, really cool effect on it. The lights are nice. It's a pretty cool place to check out. That's going to be Allegiant Stadium. That's the home of the Raiders. Well, that's the NFL team. Let's talk about some of these other teams that are out here now, right? You have the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the NHL team, the hockey team. And everywhere you go, you just see VGK, right? Vegas Golden Knights. It's creating a little sense of community. I mean, there's already a feeling of community here. I'd mentioned that in the last video. But I want to say that with the addition of these teams and people, you know, cheering on the local teams together, or national teams in this case, it's pretty awesome. But what else do we have here? Did you know that in the downtown Summerlin region, we have another baseball stadium over there, another stadium, and you're gonna have the Aces playing over there, right? So here we have some minor league teams. We've got the Aces. You've got several different teams that play different sports, and that can really keep you busy all year round if you're into the sports scene. Now, if you enjoy watching sports from other places, right? Like you want to watch a game, well, I mean, there's no better place than Las Vegas to watch a game, okay? You could watch it over there. That's Stoney's Rockin' Country Bar, which is pretty awesome. But if you do really want to watch the game, you've got to go to one of these sports books at the hotels. Locals can enjoy that, okay? Especially, by the way, you have to check out Stadium Swim at Circa. Wow, that place is awesome. But if you like to watch a game, these are awesome places to watch games. You can see games from all over the country. You can see races, horse races, all kinds of other sporting events there. It's pretty awesome. And you don't have to go to a strip casino, by the way. You can go to an off-the-strip hotel, and you're gonna have a lot of options too. Okay, the next thing I wanna mention on the list, and I know we've talked a little bit about outdoor activity, but I wanna talk about the proximity to some major other outdoor activities that are outside of the immediate area. Okay, first, of course, you have Zion National Park, right? It's in Utah. You head out there, you stop in St. George, Utah, right? St. George is a cool little town to check out. They've got a cool little downtown. Grab lunch, grab some food, hang out. That's the gateway to Zion National Park. That is a very well-known place. And a lot of people often tell me, oh, I really want to check out Zion. Well, if you live in Las Vegas, you can get there in like 2 hours. It's really cool. It's a totally different feel than going to the local national park. Isn't that kind of funny? Local national park. Like when you go to Red Rock, it's going to be very different when you go to Zion. The way the trees are growing because of the environment, it's totally different. And that is only 2 hours away. Of course, you also have the Valley of Fire, which is well known for its, maybe I should have spent a little more time in some science classes for a way to describe these rocks, but it's very well known for its very interesting rock formations. And then, of course, if you go south, you're gonna have Death Valley as well. If you want to have a little vacation getaway, you can also stop in Laughlin, Nevada. Now, I don't know how much of an outdoor activity that is for everybody, but I know for some of you it's going to be a big deal because in Laughlin, of course, you have the Colorado River, right? And you can hang out there. It's about, 100 miles away, and you can go there for a weekend trip. And prices at hotels in Laughlin, in my personal opinion, remain affordable. I mean, they're super competitive, so keep that in mind. So you can go out, you can hang out on the Colorado River. Now, what else is over there? You're on the Arizona border, so that means Lake Havasu. Yeah, Lake Havasu is in my opinion, very conveniently located. You can go check that out too. You can spend time on the lake, cool off, float around on a boat. You can use jet skis or other personal watercraft, different types of things you can do. And that's all so convenient when you live in Vegas. And by the way, I do want to say, don't think Laughlin is exactly the same as Las Vegas. It's not. Laughlin is a different town. It's a small town, okay? I mean, there's no question. Laughlin is a very small town, but you do have, it's just a different vibe because you are on the water, right? So I do want to mention that. I feel that it doesn't get enough attention, and let's give a little shout out to Laughlin, Nevada. Now, just for your reference, I do want to tell you a few other national parks and things that are close by. Of course, we've mentioned Zion. You also have the Grand Canyon. Have you heard of it? It's just a little hole between the rocks, right? You'll have Bryce Canyon, of course, equally quite famous with Zion. You have Escalante Canyon, of course, Mesa Verde, Four Corners. You've got the Arches, the Canyonlands, and can't forget about Lake Mead, which I mentioned in other videos for water activities. And I do want to say that Lake Mead's very close, right? I mean, it's half an hour. If you like to jaunt over to Arizona also for day trips, you do have some small towns. You're not even that far from Kingman or Oatman and different cities you might want to see. So I think that's something really important to mention. There is another thing I want to mention that is going to apply to some of you, and we'll have next on the list, just to make sure that you know about it. There is an international airport in Las Vegas. In case you weren't aware, if you do need to travel, it's a significant airport. There are trips all over the world coming out of that airport, and many trips locally if you need to fly to different parts of California or surrounding states, right? I've seen some amazing deals, by the way, if you take some of these really quick flights, those like hour to hour and a half flights to places if you need to go there. So just wanted to mention that. Okay, now let's continue down the list. The next item on the list is something that I think is super unique to Las Vegas. And I'm not sure I've talked about it enough, or if you know what I'm talking about, and that is going to be the perks for locals. Okay, I have mentioned the story where the first time I got my Las Vegas ID, and I went to a restaurant and I showed it to someone because they asked for it when I was making the payment. They said, "Why didn't you tell me? Didn't you know you get 50% off?" I was like 50% off of dinner? What? Okay, now I can't say you're gonna find that everywhere, but there are deals like that that are for locals. Something else that's kind of cool that can be available is that you can actually be a seat filler for a show. So let's say you want to see a certain show in Las Vegas and they need to put some people in there. There are sometimes opportunities to actually get to go to these shows for free. That's pretty awesome, I have to say. That is another cool local thing. If you do like to play at a casino, there are certainly events for locals, okay? I don't know if you come here on vacation and you like to play and you go to the casinos and such, and you might have seen some things going on. You can't really tell what they are. A bunch of people just slapping the machines or hitting the buttons as fast as they can, and you're thinking, what are these people doing? Are they playing? What they're doing are tournaments, okay? You have slot tournaments, you have Keno tournaments. We have bingo here. Yeah, bingo. And I'm gonna have to report back on how that goes, because I've always thought to myself, I really want to play bingo. I don't know why, you did it when you were a kid. But if you do like to go to those places, it's a different way of going. You're not going to like go wild on the weekend for 2 days, right? You're going because you've been invited to something. And don't forget, there are all those food coupons. I'm talking about discount buffets, some price off of a dinner. I used to get these 2-for-1 buffet coupons all the time. I mean, it's pretty awesome. I think it's really cool, and I get it because I'm local, right? That's why they send it. So I think it's just so cool. So one other thing is, sometimes you see local bars and such having promotions for things like free discount meals or free meals for locals. Sometimes it applies only if you play, but it's just something really cool that I saw that I think is something I wanted to highlight for you. So, all right, let's move on to the next item on the list. So this next item is only going to include a select group of you, and that's going to be those of you who are retired, right? It has been said that Las Vegas is great for retirees. Now, some people have told me different things. One thing is it's warm, okay? And in the summer, it's hot. So I think of personal experiences with family where they'll say to me that they don't want to go somewhere cold during the winter. And, you know, if they're a little bit older than me, and they'll mention that they just do not want to be somewhere cold. They do not like the cold. And I understand. And that's not a huge concern here. So you have generally good weather here. And I know we talked about the weather and I wasn't going to bring it up, but this is specific for you retirees out there. Also, there are discounts for retirees here. I see them at movie theaters. I see them at bowling alleys. And when you're retired, there's a good chance that you don't necessarily have young kids at home, which means you have a flexible schedule. You don't have to go to work. Congratulations. That's amazing. Happy for you. So, you know, that gives you the opportunity to really enjoy things that go on during the daytime in Vegas. And there's a ton of activities. So you already know about some of the well-known ones, but there are so many activities here that you can do. And there are beautiful retirement communities here, from Anthem to the Del Webb communities. So if you are a retiree and you're thinking about moving out here, make sure to let us know. When you send me an email, of course, you can send me a text message. Just let me know that you're looking for a retirement community, because there are some pretty awesome options. And I wanted to bring that up because I think it's important. The other thing is you have other retirees living here, right? So you're not going to be the only person, especially if you live in a retirement-focused community. You know, I'm going to tell you something. There are times I thought I'd like to live in a retirement community. I'm too young, but I see all the things going on. I'm thinking, I want to participate in these events. This place looks fun. So I've got a little time, but I'll keep you posted if I make that move one day. Okay, the next item on the list I do want to mention is the cost of living. Obviously, everything is relative, right? If you're coming from a place where everything is dirt cheap, yeah, it's going to be a lot different. But let's talk about a few things that people bring up, right? So first of all, of course, you're going to have housing prices. If you're comparing this to California or any urban area, like a really urban center like Chicago or Seattle or downtown or Portland in the Pearl District, or you're comparing this to New York, right? You're going to see a huge difference in pricing. You're getting more space. You're getting a yard. You even have condos and townhouses that have some kind of yard, which I think is pretty awesome. And it's not just the housing prices. I mean, housing prices have been going up everywhere. And the day you watch this video, maybe they'll be up, maybe they'll be down. We don't have a crystal ball, right? We can't predict the future. But think of it as a relative term. So it depends where you're coming from. I think people here have come here in part because of the pricing. And also when you want to do something to your house, it probably has something to do with regulations, right? There are some requirements in other states for doing different things, like putting on mandatory solar panels or mandatory other types of structural things, and you might not see some of those things here in Nevada. Sure, there are going to be rules that apply to Nevada specifically, and specifically to this county, to the city of Las Vegas, to the city of Henderson, to Boulder City, but generally speaking, and I don't have a specific number, but people say, and you'll see on websites or various websites that reference that there might be less regulation for certain things. So that's one thing. Also, cost of gas. I've compared it primarily to California because the most people I hear complain about the price of gas are there, right? And when comparing it to California, yeah, gas prices are generally less. So that goes with the cost of living, right? The one thing here to remind you is that in the summer you will have to use your air conditioner, and yeah, that's going to be a cost. But summer's only 3 months, right? So you don't really have to worry about that. So other cost of living issues are going to be food, of course, and then just other general utilities. I think food is kind of all over the board because you see people wanting to do things like go out to dinner all the time or cook at home only sometimes when they first move here because they're so excited by all the restaurants. So it's going to be an initial thing, but that you have to deal with eating out all the time because of all the options. But, comparatively speaking, from what I've seen in some different places, the cost of food seems about the same as a couple states I checked out, but I don't have any official statistics on that. You can definitely look that up on some websites, too. Okay, let's talk about the next unique thing about Las Vegas that I like to bring up, especially if you're concerned that you're going to move here not knowing anybody, and that is that people will visit you. People like to come here on vacation. I used to make this statement where I said, I want to live in a place where people go on vacation. Well, guess what? This is the place people go on vacation. So perhaps you hear another plane flying over me right now. Can you see it back there? Okay, so when you live in a place where people go on vacation, guess what? They want to go on vacation, but also they get to visit you. That could mean family, that could mean friends, that could mean a lot of things. And that's something that you can, take advantage of, enjoy. Make the most of it. People are coming out to see you. People often ask me, because I kind of travel around a little bit, are you going to be in Vegas this weekend? I'm coming out. Can I come out? And sometimes they want to stay at your house. Sometimes they want to stay at a hotel because it's still a vacation for them, right? Okay. Next thing I want to touch on, I might have mentioned briefly, and it's a slow time for it now, but we are seeing a comeback, and I want to just mention again the conventions. If you enjoy going to conventions, which I do, they don't all have to be just business conventions or seminars, right? There are a lot of cool conventions here for different things. You've got conventions for animals. You have conventions for the fashion industry. You have conventions where you buy things. You have conventions where you meet suppliers and buyers. See, this is something interesting. If you work in e-commerce, okay, and you need to meet suppliers, buyers, sellers, purchasers, different types of people in the industry, Las Vegas could be the place. And it's something that when I went to a convention the first time, I've been to many conventions in my life, but when I started going to some conventions here just for fun, I wasn't going for work. I noticed there are all these, suppliers there, and they'd all come here as a centralized location. There's so many different opportunities to connect with people from around the world, and you live here, so you don't have to travel here so that you can meet with them. That is something that I think is a major plus that I don't think it's addressed often enough. So I really wanted to talk about that. Okay, so the convention thing, it applies to some of you. It doesn't apply to everybody, but I definitely think when you come here, you might be interested in some convention. You'll see something. It could be anything. It could be like, convention for entertainers. Like maybe you're a balloon animal twister, a balloon artist. And there might be something for face painters and balloon artists. And you could go and learn something and meet people. I'm choosing something really obscure here, but it could happen. There's so many conventions. And they're coming back, and I've seen some coming up again, so I'm excited about that. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is another thing that I think is not always mentioned, but deserves attention, and that is Las Vegas has a lot of development. It's growing, it's modernizing, and you have a lot of new businesses coming here, whether they're stores, whether they're other types of businesses. I've even seen a few tech companies. Now, I will say not all of them are the ones you use on your phone every day. But there are startups here. There's some other types of tech companies here. We have a big, I believe it's like a cloud computing company out here called Switch. Don't quote me on that, I'm not 100% sure. They've created something actually called the Innovation Center where you can go for co-working. It's pretty cool. But what you get with that is so many newer buildings, right? You don't see that many dilapidated buildings around here, and I like that. I like seeing newer buildings, new houses. It's nice. It's cool. Like, look at this mall. We've been walking around this mall. Look how nice it is. It's clean, it's modern. Well, when I say modern, I don't mean the decor. That's not the style they're going for, right? That's not the motif or whatever the term may be, perfect for what I'm describing, but it's just that it's new, it's new. And you've got downtown Summerlin, it's new. You've got that neighborhood Cadence, which I'm talking about in another video. You can check out the channel for the video on Cadence in Henderson. That's new. You have so many new and updated shopping centers on Eastern Avenue in Henderson, right? You've got a lot of new stuff here, lots of signs for things that are coming soon. I think that's pretty awesome. Now, I want to jump back in and talk about one more item since we're talking about things that are new and housing, and that's the next item on the list. New housing. So, what I mean is literally newly built homes, right? I know that some of you want a newly constructed home, or very recently, and I understand. Okay, I'm sure we've all been in many places in our lives, and you go to a home that was built 100 years ago, and you think, oh, this place is going to need some work. And when you come here, if you're looking for a place that's built like in the last 3 years, or that's going to be built, you have a ton of opportunity. There's so many newer homes here because it's developing so much. You have options to like buy a newer place, or literally a new place, right? Where you can still pick the design. You can pick the tiles maybe, or the flooring, or the countertops, or the shape of it, or the number of rooms, the bonus room, how many garages you want. So you have so many options for newer housing here. So if you're coming from a place where you've been living in a fixer, meaning a home you gotta fix up, where you're always looking at places in other areas, like other states, where you think to yourself, okay, if I buy this place, I'll just have to put in a bunch of money to fix it up how I like. Come out to Las Vegas, see what's going on. The team can also help you with brand new builds. So before you even get started, make sure you reach out, send us an email, send us a text message, and say, can you help me find a builder or a development with new builds, and let us know what you're looking for, and we'll jump on it, okay? Because, well, that's our passion. I think you're watching these videos, so you just know, right? You don't think I just smile like this all the time, do you? I love talking about this stuff. I love it. Okay, so that issue with the new homes, it's not an issue, it's a positive thing. It's great. I think, yeah, I have friends, for example, I have this one friend, if he's watching this video, he knows who he is. He currently lives in a home. Is it just me, or are those planes like getting close? But guess what, there's so many planes because people are coming here. Okay, I have this one friend, and he lives in a house that I think was built like 80 years ago. No, maybe it's 100 years ago. And he's always telling me how it needs all this work, and he kind of likes the house, but he has to keep fixing it. And then he tells me about moving to the East Coast sometimes, because he's from there. And again, he's like, oh yeah, I found this house, check it out. And I look at it, and it's built in like, 1910. And I'm thinking, oh, another new house on 1910. What are you thinking? You just complained, right? So then he comes to visit me, okay? He comes out here to Vegas, and we go hiking in Red Rock Canyon. He's actually a rock climber, by the way. So he was climbing the rocks. I am not going to take any credit there. I was not climbing the rocks. We go out there, and he's like, oh, I love this neighborhood. We're just driving through various neighborhoods in the Summerlin area and in surrounding Red Rock Canyon, right? And he's like, oh, look how clean it is. Look how new everything is. And I said, yeah, that's what I've been talking about. There's so many new places here. Now, some places can be clean and old, but you know, it's a lot different. So I'm just kind of laughing when I tell you this story, because this is something I hear in certain parts of the country where people will tell me things like, oh, you know, you have homes that are new there? Like, how new are we talking? And I'm thinking, I'm talking about new like this year, or new like no one's ever lived in it. And it's a big change. This guy really reminded me. But I want to mention what I said before and tell you a little more. Like, you can have a place that's very old, right? Hundreds of years old. And you can have homes that are 150 years old. But the neighborhood can still be nice, it can be clean, it can be safe, it can be, you know, it could have a great atmosphere. But the thing is, sometimes it's still older, right? It can look a little gritty, it could look a little worn down in some places if they haven't fixed up everything yet. And that's just a huge difference from when you come to a place like this, where you're seeing master plan communities like Summerlin, you see Cadence, you see Southern Highlands, where things aren't sporadically just placed everywhere. And I think that makes a big difference in the environment, right? It's a little better planned, so you might have less traffic, more efficiency on the roads, just a variety of different things. And it's something that I can appreciate. And I'm not sure people, you know, get a chance to appreciate that until they come out here. So I want to let you know there are new homes available. It's pretty awesome. If you do want a home with some charm, or, you know, that needs work, that is available too. I mean, did you know we have horse properties here in Las Vegas? We have, well, yeah, we have places where you can get some acreage, you can have horses, you can have different animals. There was a petting zoo I saw recently, and the petting zoo was like at the guy's house on his property. So you have a lot of options for different types of setups. So I did want to mention that. Okay, I'm going to continue to be making videos about all the reasons people want to move here. They want to move to Las Vegas, you want to move to Henderson, Summerlin, Boulder City. But I wanted to just touch on some of these things, because I feel like we don't touch on them enough. So remember, if you are thinking about moving out to Las Vegas, right after you click that subscribe button and you tap that little bell, what are you going to do? You're going to reach out to me, okay? You're going to send me an email, send me a text message, give me a call, okay? I can't wait to hear from you. The team cannot wait to help for you. I'm so excited making this video. Okay, the team cannot wait to help you. And I can't wait to see your comments down below. Share what you're looking for. Share with me if these are things that you think about. What else do you want to know about Las Vegas? What do you want to know about Henderson? Just whatever you want to know about moving to this area. All right, everybody. Until I see you in the next video, you take care. All right. Bye-bye.